The month of August is going to feel especially supercharged as the eclipse portal opens. We feel eclipses 4 to 6 weeks before they actually occur. This is the September eclipse season. Eclipses can course correct us. They can bring significant life change. So this is a big deal. Also this month, Mercury is going to shift into direct motion. The pace will pick up. All personal planets will be direct. So we're going to begin to feel this forward momentum. In the last week of the month, the sun will enter Virgo, square off with Uranus in Gemini, bringing an awakening, a revelation, or a shock. Again, foreshadowing themes of change as we approach eclipse season. These are just a few of the key transits that are happening this month, my friends. So in this video, I'm excited to share with you in part 1, the key transits and dates for the month. So you might want to grab a pen and paper or your laptop and take notes. I'll also share how we can best navigate these energies with the most ease and grace, and who will feel some of these transits most personally and intensely. So before you jump to your 12-sign readings, be sure and watch part 1 so you don't miss some of the most important astrology of the month. And then in part 2, I will be doing your monthly horoscopes for each of the 12 signs based on your rising sign and pulling an oracle card for each of the signs as well. So I am very excited to dive into this dynamic and another electrifying month of August. But first, I want to welcome you if you are brand new to the channel. This is a like-minded community. If you are highly sensitive, if you're an empath, if you're on a spiritual path or an ascension journey, you are in the right place. It's always my intention to empower and inspire you through Western tropical astrology. So take a moment right now to tap that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Welcome back to those of you who have subscribed to the channel, who enjoy the videos. I am so happy that you are here. I would not be here without you. And if you don't know me, I'm Betsy Gutting. I am a psychic astrologer, intuitive life coach, and author. I am a full-time professional astrologer offering astrology consultations. So if you are intrigued, stay tuned till the end of the video. I'll tell you more about my readings as well as my coaching, and I have a free gift for you. I'll tell you what that free gift is and how you can get it at the end. So stay tuned for that. And if you'd like to receive my weekly inspirational astrology updates, which is the astrology between videos, go to my website, subscribe to those updates for free, and you will get your free instant download gift at the same time. So let's talk about the key transits and dates of August. For all of the dates that I go through, know that you could be feeling these transits a day before, a day after. We will all feel them collectively, but you will feel them personally to the extent that the transit activates a planet or point in your natal astrology chart. And of course, this is something I can illuminate for you in an astrology consultation. The month begins with the sun still in Leo until August 22nd. So the sun will be in Leo for the first few weeks of the month. Happy birthday to all of our Leo friends who have birthdays in August. Also, as the month begins, it's important to note that Venus entered the sign of Cancer at the end of July, July 31st. And on August 2nd, Venus in Cancer is going to make a square to Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So what does this mean? Venus in Cancer wants emotional security. She wants comfort. She wants to hang out with loved ones. She wants to feel like other people have her back. She has their back. She wants to nurture others. She wants to feel nurtured in return. Venus in Cancer is also connected to home and family and the mother. And her priority is to feel a sense of belonging and safety, whether it's with family of origin or soul family. But Venus, she is making a square to Saturn and Neptune in Aries. And if you'll recall, Saturn and Neptune in Aries, they are together. They're what we call conjunct, and they are representing the new dream that we want to make real in this next chapter of our life. Both Saturn and Neptune are retrograde, which means that their energy is more pulled inward. We experience it, generally speaking, more inwardly. We're reflecting, refining, getting more information, or doing some emotional clearing on anything that has to do with this new dream that we want to make real. Some of you could feel a push-pull between home, family, and career, or this new dream that you want to bring into reality. Others of you could feel like, I have commitments to family. I can't do this thing. Or you could have had rose-colored glasses on regarding your dream and feel like those have come off. Somebody close to you has shown you something that you didn't see before. Maybe you're wondering if this new dream, it could be a career focus, it could be a big, bold risk that you want to take, an adventure, that's Aries energy. Maybe you're wondering if your emotional needs will be met if you go through with your Saturn-Neptune dream, or vision, or heart's desire. Squares motivate us to take action. Squares bring tension and pressure that we have to resolve. And you may feel like you don't have the support of your family or somebody that you love, and that could be causing tension. So this is a good transit to have a conversation if you feel safe. Not all of us are going to feel safe during this transit to have a conversation, but if you do feel like you can create a safe space to have a conversation with a person or people in your life that would help dispel the tension, that's something you may want to do. On August 6th, Mars, the planet of action, drive, motivation, our mojo, it's going to leave the sign of Virgo and enter Libra. Libra is a relationship-focused sign. It's an air sign. It likes the give and take, the back and forth. Libra loves harmony, balance. Libra is the sign of the scales, justice. You could feel your focus shift to a focus on a particular relationship or a business partnership. Libra energy is also very creative, loves to beautify. Many Libras are artists, so wherever you have Libra in your natal astrology chart, you don't have to be a Libra to feel this energy. We're all going to feel this. You may feel a desire to bring more harmony into your relationships, to maybe take a relationship to the next level because Libra rules committed relationships, or just a desire for more beauty and peace in your life. Now, this is really interesting. Shortly after Mars enters Libra on the 6th, 2 days later on August 8th, Mars is going to make an opposition to Saturn in Aries. So we have Mars in Libra and Saturn in Aries, and they're opposing one another. And Mars and Saturn are known as the two malefic planets. So Mars-Saturn opposition can feel like a standoff. It can feel like a real conflict, neither party wanting to budge. On the other hand, remember that Mars is in Libra, and Libra is focused on justice, balance, equality, mutuality. We both do our part. Saturn's in Aries, and Aries is the I am. What is my dream? What is my new identity? What am I willing to take a risk to move forward and accomplish? Aries is more focused on the I, on the mine. This is what I have to do. So you can see the inherent opposition there. But it may not be time yet because Saturn rules timing and Saturn rules discernment. Saturn rules rules and restrictions, and it can delay things. It can even say no. It could be an authority figure, someone in charge, someone who seems to have the power, saying it's not time yet for what you want to do, Mars. Maybe one person wants to move forward and commit to something, Mars in Libra, and Saturn is saying, especially because Saturn's retrograde, I don't know yet. I'm not sure yet. I can't commit to that right now. But there is a sort of receptivity between these two energies. And the reason is that Mars is in Libra and Mars is ruled by Aries. Saturn's in Aries and Saturn is exalted in Libra. So there's some commonality between the two that will make it easier for some of us to have a conversation if we feel safe, if the timing feels right, which it may not yet, but if so, there's enough receptivity between the two that you might be able to have a conversation, and at least both, if there are two parties involved, both of you share your concerns, your fears, your heart, what is lighting you up, what you most want, and at least see if you can dispel the tension that way. Now, what's really fascinating is the same day that we have this tension-filled Mars-Saturn opposition, the same exact day, Mars in Libra is making a harmonious trine. Trines are the most easeful transits we can get. Mars in Libra is trining Uranus in Gemini, and Uranus, the Great Awakener in Gemini, is saying, how can we look at the situation differently? How can we change our perception? What's a new way we can approach this? How can we invent a workaround? Uranus in Gemini wants everyone to feel free and liberated. And that must be why I got that sense of try to have a conversation if you can. Because this could be a spark of aliveness. This could be a real aha moment, a real shift in thinking. A new possibility, something that feels like it's moving very quickly, that's Uranus. And if the tension of that Mars-Saturn opposition is not released on August 8th, by August 9th, I believe it will be. And that is because we're going to have a full moon in Aquarius, and full moons are times of emotional release. Full moons are times of completion, culminations, fruition, and sometimes a full circle graduation moment. This full moon is in Aquarius, a fellow air sign, fellow to Gemini where Uranus is, and to Libra where Mars is. And so during this full moon, we're going to have this lovely, harmonious trine conversation going on between Mars and Uranus. This is very likely going to be an awakening full moon, taking us to a higher consciousness, helping us to, as we say, shift into a new timeline. There are real themes of freedom and independence because that's what Aquarius wants. Aquarius tunes into the cosmic intelligence. Aquarius does what is best for the community or the group. So there's a sense of we're all in this together. But there are several other challenging transits going on at the same time, which I'm going to save for my full moon video. I always do videos on the new and full moons for you. But I think this is going to be a full moon when we are quite energized, especially if you're one of the ones most affected, which I'm going to share in a moment. I will say that the sun opposite the moon are going to make a T-square to Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, and that's bringing up dark fears. That's bringing up catastrophic thinking even. But, and I really want you to hear this, Black Moon Lilith transits are most often only here to show us fears that need to be processed. Black Moon Lilith fears rarely play out. In reality, they're past life or childhood experiences, often past life, that we are meant to process and clear. Who will most feel this full moon in Aquarius? It's happening at 17 degrees, 16 degrees, 59 minutes. This one we will round up to 17. Those of you who have planets or points between 13 and 21 degrees of Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, or Taurus, you will feel this full moon most intensely, most personally. And of course, we're all going to feel it collectively. And you will feel the themes of this wherever you have 17 degrees of Aquarius in your natal astrology chart, which I'm going to share in the 12 sign monthly horoscopes. The day after this full moon on August 10th, Mars in Libra is going to make another harmonious trine to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Mars trine Pluto, that is an all systems go. Pluto is power. Pluto is power, and a trine is our passion pulling us forward. Mars says, let's go, let's do this, let's pull up all of the courage, the strength, the support. Let's tap into our support and connect with the transformational power of Pluto to make something happen. So this is a lot of forward momentum for whatever is really lighting up your heart, my friend, whatever is most important to you now. Right. The next day, August 11th, Mercury in Leo is going to station direct. This is going to be most likely an intense day for Mercury because whenever it stations either direct or retrograde, it is more intense feeling. I have a separate video for you on the Mercury retrograde in Leo, so I encourage you to go back and watch that. If you're wondering, what is my Mercury retrograde gift? We always get a gift. It's some sort of insight. It's some sort of illumination or revelation that tells us what we needed to know in order to move forward in the Leo area of our chart. It could have been a healing. It could have been a healing for your heart because this is Leo energy and Leo is ruled by the sun and rules the heart. Very likely it was something that boosted your confidence and courage in the Leo area of your chart, corresponding to the Leo area of your life. And you could have gotten excited by a new dream or tried a new kind of creative expression. My daughter had a birthday party and we made these tie-dye shirts during her party. And I got super ignited to get back into arts and crafts, stuff I haven't done for a while. A part of you that's been dormant may have come more alive during the Mercury retrograde. Know that Mercury won't fully be in new territory until August 26th. That's when it is going to clear its post-shadow period. But usually by the time it comes out of its retrograde, and that is the 11th, we see what we needed to see in order to move forward, sign a contract, commit to something, or make a purchase. Some people like to wait until the end of the shadow period. That's totally up to you. I always encourage you to trust your intuition first and foremost. This may be my favorite transit of the month on August 12th. The two benefics, Venus and Jupiter, are going to come together. They're going to kiss in the water sign of Cancer, which is already a very loving, let's get cozy. Can you come a little closer, please? That's Cancer energy. So we have Venus and Jupiter coming together, bringing us a blessing, some good fortune. If nothing else, a feel-good day or a feel-good 1 to 3 days around August 12th, wherever you have Cancer in your chart. And remember that Venus rules money, pleasure, beauty, comfort, lovemaking, and Jupiter is going to expand the positives of these Venusian themes. Whatever you receive during this time, or whatever happens for you around August 12th, it could bring you a deeper sense of belonging, comfort, or emotional security. Also, Venus in Cancer is very creative. So if you feel like doing art, if you feel like beautifying, this is a gorgeous transit for those kinds of activities as well. 2 days later, August 14th, Mercury in Leo is going to sextile Mars in Libra. Mercury in Leo, this is a conversation, and this is some sort of communication. It's new information. It may feel dramatic, but because it's a sextile, it's harmonious, it's positive, it brings opportunities and solutions, and it's sextiling Mars in Libra, and Mars is our get up and go. Mars is our drive to take some sort of action. So Mercury sextiling Mars is like, okay, I got this information and I'm going. I heard this and now I know I want to make a move. It could very well be an opportunity for you coming in. This is great for romance. It's great for any kind of a date with a friend or colleague, anyone you want to spend time with. And because it's Mars in Libra, and Libra rules committed relationships, if you want to have a meeting with a potential business partner or you want a romantic partnership, this would be a great time to get together with someone else who shares your same intention. As long as both parties are looking for a mutually reciprocal partnership, whether it is business or personal or friendship, this transit could open up a new door for you in that regard. Also a great time to have a productive conversation with anyone close to you that you want to feel closer to. On August 22nd, the sun is going to leave fiery, bold, courageous Leo and enter earthy, practical Virgo. The contrast between these is palpable because Leo, in its own way, is a fire starter. It's spontaneous and passionate, romantic, generous. In Leo energy, we shine our light as brightly as we can, and we draw people to us of like mind. And we step up to the plate and take a leadership role if we feel so inspired. Virgo energy, on the other hand, is the archetype of the practical healer. Virgo's motto is I serve. Virgo wants to help people create order out of chaos. So the sun in Virgo helps us to line up our ducks in a row, to cross our T's and dot our I's, helps us to get focused on the fine print of documents. And Virgo is also connected to our daily work environment, our coworkers and our managers, as well as the physical body and actually health on all levels, optimal health, spiritual, mental, physical, emotional. So as we get closer to the last week of August, the sun in Virgo, we're looking to the fall. It's like the time that school traditionally starts, right? The excitement of gathering your school supplies, if you remember doing that. Preparing for the fall and getting organized. And Virgo season is going to come in with a bang. I say this because on August 23rd, we're going to have a new moon in Virgo. And new moons are new beginnings. They're the beginning of a brand new manifestational cycle. But this is a special new moon. First of all, it's at 0 degrees. 0 degrees is pure potential. It's an anaretic degree. It's more intense feeling than most of the other degrees. It is like a new beginning, super amplified. And this new moon begins our eclipse story. Why do I say this? Because the first eclipse will be a lunar eclipse in Pisces on the 7th of September, and that is going to be a mini culmination of this new moon in Virgo at 0 degrees on August 23rd. Not only this, but we're going to have another new moon in Virgo, September 21st, which will be an eclipse. It will be a new moon solar eclipse at 29 degrees. So we are going to span the degrees of 0 to 29 of Virgo as part of this eclipse story. So much more to share with you about this eclipse season. Of course, I'll do separate videos on both of these eclipses. But not only is this new moon beginning eclipse season at 0 degrees, super amplified, it is also squaring Uranus in Gemini. Super electric. And a Uranus square is usually not felt as gently. It tends to be disruptive. It tends to be discombobulating, but it can be a sudden insight of, I have to go do this. I have to move here. I have to break up with this person. I have to call this person and profess my love. A square could show up like that as well. This is a perfect new moon for setting intentions around our health, our physical body, our wellness on all levels, our work, our daily habits, our lifestyle, how we use our energy, and is it sustainable? Is it life-giving? Much more about this new moon to share with you in my video that will be forthcoming, but I will tell you that those of you who have planets or points between 0 and 4 degrees of Virgo or the other mutable signs of Pisces, Sagittarius, or Gemini, you will feel this Virgo new moon most intensely and personally, as well as those of you who have planets or points between 26 and 29 degrees of Leo or the other fixed signs of Aquarius, Scorpio, or Taurus. On August 24th, the sun in Virgo will make an exact square to Uranus in Gemini. So definitely we want to expect the unexpected during this time. Keep your schedule light if you can, if you're one of the ones who will be most affected. And know that if something does break down, if you do have some kind of discombobulating moment or something stressful that throws you off, with those moments we always want to look at after we deal with it and do what we have to do. We always want to look at, how did this situation, how does it want to free and liberate me? Because from a breakdown, we can cause a breakthrough, right? And the sun rules your identity. So Uranus and Gemini may be wanting you to think differently about your identity, a new role, a new way of seeing yourself. And that can be immensely liberating. Now on August 25th, Venus will leave the sign of Cancer and enter Leo. Remember, we just had the sun in Leo, Mercury is still in Leo in August, and now Venus is entering Leo. Big picture, all of this Leo energy is helping to increase our confidence. It wants to help us, support us to rise to the occasion of the next thing that our heart wants that may feel scary. It may feel like, I can't do this. This is too hard. I don't know if I'm up to this. Maybe I'm too old, or maybe I feel like I don't have the qualifications. What I love about Venus entering Leo is that it's going to make a trine to both Saturn retrograde and Neptune retrograde, one after the other. And this happens over the 2 days, August 25th and 26th. That is the same time period that Mercury, which has been retrograde, leaves its post-shadow period. What does this mean? I believe that we each received an insight. We each received some sort of healing. It could have been a healing on your heart. Hopefully you received something from that Mercury retrograde that made you feel more open and able and confident to take on the dream, the vision, the thing that your heart most wants now. This is what Saturn and Neptune in Aries represent for us right now. A dream or a vision or a heart's desire that we're making real, that we want to bring into this earthly life. So Venus entering Leo, where we've already had the sun, we've already had Mercury, Venus entering Leo and making a beautiful harmonious trine to Saturn and Neptune, I believe this is saying, I am now, you are now, we are now a vibrational match for what it is that our heart most wants. We're ready now. We may not have been ready when Mercury was retrograde, But we've done our Mercury retrograde reflection, and now we get this harmonious wind at your back, gorgeous trine, supporting us as we sail toward our future vision or goal. For some of us, it's a new relationship or a deepening of a relationship. For others of us, it's a new resource. It's an upgrade of some sort, a promotion, maybe a new way to make something happen or a new plan. Bringing you what your heart's been wanting, what will make your Venus and Leo heart really happy. But what is so cool about this energy is because Venus in Leo, Leo is a fixed sign, Neptune and Saturn are in Aries, Aries is cardinal energy, and Venus is also going to sextile Uranus and Gemini. Gemini is a mutable sign. What does this mean? It means that we are all going to be feeling around this time, August 25th, 26th, the day before, a day after this time period, all of the signs, if you have any planets between 0 and 2 degrees of any sign, you are likely to feel this forward wind at your back, filling up the sails of your heart, your confidence, your resolve to move forward. And finally, 2 more dates for you. On August 27th, Venus in Leo will make an opposition to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Venus opposing Pluto. What does this mean? We're coming off the heels of some very empowering transits, some very spark-filled transits, maybe a new opportunity coming to you, maybe a new idea that is really lighting you up. And because of this, I think Venus opposing Pluto may be a red flag. It could be a situation that feels too good to be true. It could be that you get an opportunity or a proposal, and on some level, it feels messy or complicated. Maybe the boundaries are blurred. Maybe you need to set a boundary. Maybe you need to have a conversation. But I think this transit is saying tread lightly, take your time, don't commit to anything long term, and really listen to your intuition, because Venus opposing Pluto, we usually have a sense, we feel it in our belly. We feel if there's something that feels off. Ask questions and know that if you pass something up, all of those positive transits that are coming right before this opposition are still wanting to gift you with some sort of upgrade in your life, some sort of opportunity. Finally, on August 28th, Uranus, the Great Awakener in Gemini, the sign of communication and our thinking and inventions and revolutionizing some part of our life, Uranus in Gemini is going to make a lovely sextile to Neptune, and Neptune rules the vision. Neptune is our highest possibility of the ideal that we could bring into this reality. So Uranus making a sextile to Neptune, sextiles are always solutions, something is taken care of, something is resolved, it's a new opportunity. Uranus sextiling Neptune is saying, let's think about this differently. Let's look wider. Let's look outside the box, as we say. We need a new expression for outside the box. Let's pretend there is no box. There are other possibilities and other opportunities that we haven't seen before, I believe, that this Uranus sextile Neptune is going to show us anytime between August 27th and the end of this month. So this is a lot of support, my friend. And because Uranus is in Gemini, that's people. That's not just ideas and new possibilities. That's new people coming into your life. Really be open to the sparks of possibility. They could come in your dreams. They can come through a conversation you overhear. They can come through something that you read, a YouTube video, a podcast that shows you that, yes, you really can make your dream real. Okay, my friend, let us do the 12 sign readings now. Listen to your rising sign. Your rising sign corresponds to the area of your natal chart and your life in which you will be experiencing the transits that I'm about to talk about. Also listen to your sun sign and your moon sign for further themes and the intuitive messages that we get throughout the reading and from the oracle cards. And we're going to start with Virgo, because beautiful Virgo, this is your birthday season. Happy, happy birthday to all of you who have August birthdays. Virgo, this month, I believe, is going to bring a turning point for many of you. If not a turning point, you are anticipating, some of you, a turning point. And that is because eclipse season, which is about to happen in September, the portal opens in August especially with the new moon in Virgo that happens on the 23rd, but even before that, even at the beginning of August, the portal is open. We say it's open because we feel eclipses 4 to 6 weeks before they actually happen. And if you don't feel any sort of, oh, my life is being course corrected, or I have to make this decision, or, I'm moving, or I'm changing careers, or something big like that, or a relationship is shifting in some way. If you don't feel that, you may start to feel a sense of restlessness or anxiety because you can feel change coming, even if you don't yet know what that change is. The eclipse season in Pisces and Virgo started in 2024 and it ends 2027. So here we are in 2025, kind of right in the middle of it. And the extent to which you feel this will depend on your planets and points, the degrees of your planets and points in Pisces and Virgo. And I have a whole separate video for you on the lunar nodes in Pisces and Virgo, and the lunar nodes are connected to the eclipses. So some of you will feel like something is shifting for you this month, and you'll feel it more palpably. What I especially love for you this month, Virgo, is that Venus in Cancer is transiting in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams. The 11th house is the house of the world. It's the house of, often there's a completion, or, we're dreaming a new dream. We're getting a new sense of what would bring us fulfillment. And it's also the house of friendships, allies. It's also where we promote and brand something. Communities that, or meetup groups, things like that we attend, or online dating. It's the house of what are all the possibilities? What can I say yes to? What does my heart want now? That is very much connected to the 11th house. And not only is Venus going to be here for most of the month, and it harmonizes beautifully with your energy, Cancer does, but Jupiter is also already in Cancer, and Venus and Jupiter will be meeting up. They will be coming together in your 11th house. What a beautiful place to have a Venus conjunct Jupiter transit. Jupiter will expand all the feel-good kinds of feelings of Venus, which is, blessings with money, beauty, pleasure, all the comforts of life. And this can be dating as well. This can be just having a good time with people that you love. But because it's the 11th house, and the 11th house asks that question of what does my heart want? What is my dream? And so on. You might have an especially wonderful transit of Venus coming together with Jupiter. So I love that for you, because you get a sextile, and sextiles are opportunities and solutions. It harmonizes with you, and that just amplifies the possibility that this will be a really lovely transit for you. And also it's long-term financial gains. So if you have investments in anything that brings you back, financial gains, then you may feel that during this transit as well. I also think you're going to love the fact that Mercury is turning direct. We're all going to love Mercury turning direct, but for you, it's turning direct in your 12th house. It's stationing direct in your 12th house. The 12th house is where we get those revelations. We have those weird nighttime dreams. We can have uncomfortable conversations. The 12th house brings up karmic relationships. It can bring up that word frenemies, the hidden enemies. And so Mercury can, especially in Leo, where it's been retrograde in Leo, can dramatize those kinds of uncomfortable things that much more. During this Mercury retrograde, though, you could have had a healing on your heart, especially because Leo rules the heart. You could have had an epiphany that you got while you were sleeping, or in a dream, or, through a conversation that, or just doing your own meditation, doing your own journaling, any kind of inner work or shadow work. That epiphany was important. It was important. And now that Mercury is turning direct, and I say that was important because now in August, we're getting all of this positive sparks of energy from Uranus. And, I go all through this in the first part of the video. I'm not going to go through all those transits again in these individual readings, but go back and watch that, Virgo, because there are so many places this month that we get sparked, our energy gets sparked. And because Uranus in Gemini squares your energy, these sparks could be real a big deal for you. They could be real moments of, often they're breakdowns, but then we break through into freedom. It's often where we give ourselves something that we've been putting off, or we've been holding back on ourselves. You, Virgo, can be, you are so often generous with your energy to others, but giving yourself what you need, not always as much. So a breakthrough from Uranus squaring any of your planets and points, if you have any planets and points at the very early degrees, could be quite freeing for you. On August 9th, we have a full moon in Aquarius. That's happening in your 6th house of daily health, wellness, your lifestyle, your schedules, your routines. This is what we eat, all the things that Virgos are very familiar with, right? The physical body and how we exercise and the habits that we have. And are all of these things that we do, how we use our energy, is it healthy, sustainable? And do you want a different lifestyle? Do you want a different work environment? Do you want to have a different boss? Do you want to change up your coworkers? Easier said than done, I know, but sometimes we do change jobs for any of those reasons. This full moon is going to show you, if you haven't already seen it, if there's something toxic in your life, whether it's your physical, mental, emotional health, or in your work environment, or in your lifestyle. It's going to show you. And also, you may be making a decision that involves financial considerations, given the transits that are involved during this full moon. I'll do a separate video for everyone on this full moon, but it's going to be quite potent, I believe. And it's not only going to be an ending or completion, it could be a manifestation, and it could spark new inspirations, new, revolutionary ideas even. That's Mars trining Uranus during this full moon. August 22nd, the sun will enter your 1st house. The sun will enter your sign, beautiful Virgo. This is a breath of fresh air, especially after the sun having been in your 12th house. It's a very internal place. Again, you probably had, with the sun and Mercury retrograde in your 12th house, you probably had at least one revelation, at least one thing illuminated for you, maybe something that you have let go, released, surrendered to. The sun in your sign now, in your 1st house, is an I'm coming out kind of energy. I always think of that song, I'm coming out. I want the world to know. I got to let it show. Virgo, this is the time for that. This is the time to have some fun and claim your power of choice and your identity and what's most important to you now. Very, very important, especially because we're going to have that very electrifying new moon that squares Uranus. The new moon's happening in your 1st house of identity, but it's squaring Uranus and Gemini in your 10th house of career. So this is going to bring up career considerations. And if not career, whatever your current identity is, maybe it's how you express your life purpose. Maybe it's a role that you play in your life personally or in business. Maybe it's, just how you see yourself, or how you want to see yourself, how you want others to see you. Some of you may decide to retire because this is going to jumpstart eclipse season, this new moon at 0 degrees. And it is everything is possible, 0 degrees. Pure potential. And eclipse season for you is going to happen on your 1st and 7th house axis. And that's you and your relationships, your identity within yourself, with your connection to spirit, your spiritual identity, your real world identity, and also your relationships. But then it also brings in your career and your home and family as well. So I'll go into those eclipses in September's astrology, and of course do separate videos for each of those. But just know, big picture, Virgo, that there is a new cycle of change happening for a lot of Virgo people because of this eclipse season. So Virgo, that all said, let us shuffle for you. Let me shuffle for you, and let's see what the cards have to say. For Virgo, August, your card is Mother Earth Feel loved and comforted. I love this card. And it's so you, because here it is, the earth. And this card is saying you are pregnant with something. You're pregnant. Some of you, it could be a child. Many of you, it's an idea, a new identity, a new path. Truly, truly a turning point month. It may cause you anxiety to not know what's coming if you don't know what's coming. Eclipse season is inherently, it's like the universe showing us the way. Unless we make a decision first. Sometimes we do. We make a decision before an eclipse comes along and picks us up and puts us down in the place that we're meant to be. And I say that metaphorically. It could be a place that you work. It could be a place that you live. It could be a trip that you take. Obviously, a lot of different ways that eclipses can work. But it can bring anxiety not to know or not to have decided yet. And that's why this is saying that you are supported by Mother Earth. Allow Mother Earth to love and comfort you. You have got this, beautiful Virgo. If anything that I shared resonates for you and you want to share, let me know in the comments below. Leo, hello, beautiful Leo. Leo, what I love for you for the month of August is that Mercury is shifting into direct motion in your first house of you. This is great news. If you've been waiting to launch something, if you haven't wanted to make a move in a relationship, if you have been excited about making a job change or shifting something in your life that's really important to you. For some of you, it could be moving. For some of you, it could be career related or retirement related. If you've been wanting to, because a transit in the first house is important because it's about your choices and decisions and how you see yourself and how you want your life to be and the roles that you play and your identity, your appearance, your vitality. Very important place to have a transiting planet, and Mercury transiting here. It brought you some sort of insight or gift. It should have. If you want to leave me a comment and let me know what you realized during this Mercury retrograde, well, the good news is that not only is Mercury turning direct in your first house, freeing you up to make those moves that you've been wanting to make if you have, but also, and some of you may have been wanting to launch something, launch a new business or, propose to someone, something like that. Not only is Mercury direct in your first house now, but in August, but Venus is also entering your sign on the 25th. And when Venus transits our first house, this is a glow up. I know, I don't say that word very often, so it makes me laugh. But it is. It's a glow up for you. It's quite lovely. Venus in the first house, there is nothing not to like about a Venus in the first house transit, I have to say. The sun will be in your sign, Leo, through August 22nd. And happy birthday to all of you Leo babies who were born in August. My mom and dad were both Leos. I hope you have loved your Leo season thus far, and it's wonderful to know that you've got 3 more weeks of it. With the sun transiting your first house, I hope you have a renewed sense of your strength, your courage, your confidence, your readiness to say yes to something that is very important to you. Leo, Mars is going to leave Virgo and enter Libra in your 6th house. Mars in Libra is an air sign. You are fire. The air of Libra and the fire of you makes lovely sparks. This is really, really lovely for you because sextiles, which this is, bring opportunities and solutions. Sextiles help us to put something in motion, or we have to take the initiative for a sextile. We have to see a need or see something that we want to change and do something about it. But once we do, we get the reward from it. It's very, very like earthly, practical support, a sextile. It's happening in your daily house of daily work, health, lifestyle, and pets. So this is a great transit for you to make some sort of headway or forward momentum or a change if you want to make a change in any of these areas. Some of you may want to release a habit. Some of you may want to use your energy in different ways, change your lifestyle, get a new pet. Lots of different ways that this can play out, but it's a really good transit to feel like you are finally, because again, Mercury retrograde, this is Mars now. This is Mars in Libra now, and that's a relationship sign, so it could have to do with relationships at work, is now saying, Libra's not just about relationships. It's ruled by Venus. It's about beautifying too, and artistry and creativity. It could be beautifying your workspaces. But it's very positive and brings lovely momentum and hopefully a great opportunity for you. August 9th is the full moon in Aquarius. This is a potent full moon. It is happening, Leo, in your 7th house of partnerships. A full moon in your 7th house means some sort of shift or change or some sort of action going on in your house of relationships. Now, this is committed partnerships, so it is both romance, that where you have a commitment with someone, or it's a business relationship, or it's a close friendship. It's anyone that with whom you have their back, they have your back. I don't know if that was grammatically correct, but you get the idea. And full moons are endings or culminations or manifestations. So if you're in relationships that feel mutually reciprocal, you could take them to the next level. Or maybe there's a proposal that happens for, on your end or the other person's end during this time. Again, it could be business or romantic. Or maybe a relationship ends. I have to say that can happen during a full moon, especially. It will probably be a somewhat emotional or dramatic full moon for you. It's also a really exciting full moon because there are a lot of really interesting challenges, both transits, both challenging and spark-filled during this full moon, which I'll go into in more depth in my separate video on this full moon. Then, Leo, the sun will leave your sign and it will enter Virgo. That's happening on the 22nd of August. And on the 23rd, we're going to have a new moon in Virgo squaring electrifying Uranus. This is going to be a new moon that for many of us, it shows us the way. It could be discombobulating initially, but it's going to course correct us if it needs to. It's going to open up some clarity for some of us. Where is it happening for you? The new moon's happening in your 2nd house of earned income, self-love, deserving, material security. That's where the moon is happening. The new moon is happening. So that's what you're likely setting intentions around, something financial, or maybe, you want a promotion. You want to make money doing something differently, or you want to add more income to your life, or you want to increase your sense of self-worth. Any of these things could be possible for you. That square to Uranus will be transiting or is transiting your 11th house. The 11th house is friendships, allies, supporters. The 11th house is long-term financial gains. It's like the current dream of your life. What would make you feel most fulfilled? So that's coming into the mix during this new moon. And that's where you could have something that is unplanned. Expect the unexpected kind of awakening that Uranus brings. It could be in a friendship, or it could be it could have to do with some promotion or branding or community event that you're involved in, any of these kinds of things. But this is especially important for you, Leo, because this new moon jumpstarts eclipse season, and eclipse season for you is happening on this financial axis, the 2nd house, where the new moon in Virgo is, and then we're going to have a lunar eclipse in Pisces in your 8th house of power, control, lots of other themes I'll go into when I get into those separate videos, but just know that this is your financial axis, long-term assets and financial security and your daily income. That's where eclipse season is happening for you. So that's going to take on special focus for you late August and into September. Okay, so beautiful Leo. Let me now shuffle for you and let us see what the cards have to say for your month of August. Leo, your card is, I love this card, the Direction Guardian. Choose your path. I love this card so much. I love it because of all of the animals. And Leo, there's you. There's the lion. So we have the lion, we have, it looks like an eagle here, and I believe this is the Taurus bull. And then of course we have this angel. We could call this person Archangel Michael or any other angel that appears to you, or this is your own angelic higher self. And of course, this card is saying claim your leadership, right? Know your worth, Taurus. Fly above and see things from a greater perspective, the eagle. and call on these animals if you need help, or the angels if you need help to know what your path is. If you need that direction, call on them, because it is time, beautiful Leo, to choose your path. And if you resonate with this or anything else I shared in this reading, let us know in the comments below. I'd love to hear. Cancer. Hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer, I have my moon and rising in Cancer. And what I love about the month of August for you is that Venus is in your sign as of July 31st and through much of the month of August until the 25th. Venus is in your sign. Venus is a lovely kind of star-kissed kind of time to have Venus here, because she rules money, love, beauty, pleasure. We tend to feel more taken care of with Venus in our sign. We tend to feel like there are just people are nicer to us. You know, these are all, it's all very energetic, right? But there tends to be a sense of, you know, that you feel like things are going well in your relationships, that money is pretty good, that your needs are taken care of. And it's great. It's a great transit for your creativity. But not only this, because Jupiter is already in your sign, Cancer, Venus coming together with Jupiter, which is happening this month on the 12th, is a beautiful, beautiful transit. It's one of the best transits we can have of all the planetary transits. Tends to bring blessings and good fortune. It tends to bring, you know, a sense of feeling good, just feeling good. And this is a time that you want to spend doing what you love or being with people that you love, sharing your time, basically just deciding what would be nourishing to my heart, and give yourself that. Beautiful Cancer. And if you're Cancer rising, thinking about your body too, what would nourish your body? A really good time for that. Also, Cancer, Mercury is going to station direct in your second house of money, and this is very positive. You could have had a slowdown in your money with Mercury retrograde. You could have had glitches and other things that just tend to happen with Mercury retrogrades. You could have been putting off a financial decision. You could have been weighing different ways to earn money or different kinds of investments. Anything to do with your material security. You could have been working on your self-love and deserving, doing some shadow work on that, or you could have had an epiphany on that during the Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrogrades always bring a gift of insight. And now Mercury stations direct. So if you want to make any new decisions or choices or purchase something, now you can do that with Mercury stationing direct without so much stress of not knowing, you know, how it's going to turn out. Mars is moving into Libra, and that is your fourth house of home and family. So Mars in your fourth house of home and family you know, it's action. Sometimes Mars in the fourth house, I have to say, can bring conflict with a neighbor. It can bring conflict with a family member. Other times, though, it really energizes you to beautify your home, to remodel, or to move. Definitely a good time to make a move when Mars is transiting your fourth house. And also you could have a lovely healing with somebody that you live with, or somebody that is in your family, or even your soul family during this time. So Mars in Libra, Libra energy does make a square to your energy, and that means there's some tension or pressure, but you take action. It's going to be an action-filled time for you. That's the nature of a square. Without squares, we would not accomplish, basically, in life. Squares help us to accomplish. If you want to move, if you want to buy a new house, if you want to build a house, whatever you want to do to make your sanctuary or your home a sanctuary, this is a great transit for that, Cancer. Then we have a full moon in Aquarius that is happening in your eighth house of long-term financial goals. This is, you know, this is a theme that's been going on for you ever since Mercury was retrograde and the sun was, you know, is in Leo, still in your second house of money, right? That extends across the zodiac wheel to your eighth house of long-term financial security. These are like retirement funds and home ownership and anything that we invest in that we want to return, you know, on our money. That's the eighth house, but also the eighth house is shared intimacy, shared resources, financial, but also intimacy, emotional, sexual. So this transit can bring that stuff up too. It can bring up a lot of fear, I have to say, a full moon in the eighth house around Do I feel like I'm in control of my resources? You know, are my partner and I, if you have a partner, on the same page, whether it's business or personal? You know, do we agree? Some people might be splitting up resources during this time. Obviously not nearly, you know, that's going to be a small percentage of you, but that's, you know, a full moon is a completion, an ending, a culmination, or a manifestation. So, you know, an ending in the eighth house can be, I'm ending sharing a specific resource with a partner. Or it's still a manifestation as well. So that could be an inheritance. It could be that too. It's not really showing us a full moon in Aquarius in your eighth house. It's not showing us whether we're going to feel it's positive or negative on a human level, but there are some challenging aspects going on during this transit, but also some positive ones. And as I said in the first part of this video, when I talked about the full moon, Black Moon Lilith is involved. If you have fears come up, Cancer, having to do with this full moon, because it's the eighth house of power and emotional attachments, this is a house where we would have very naturally more fears. We don't want to lose our stuff. And I'm talking on a human level. I know some of you like to say, I don't care about things and all of that. I get that. But on a human level, a lot of us, we want to hold on to the things that we have worked hard for. And, you know, things change in life. And again, I'm not saying that you're going to lose anything during this full moon. What I'm saying is that Black Moon and Lilith can bring up fears of loss, and they are meant to be processed. They very rarely actually play out when Black Moon Lilith is involved. It's like a part of our psyche that needs to be integrated. That's what's really going on. Cancer. Virgo season begins August 22nd. We will immediately the next day have a new moon in Virgo, and this new moon is happening for you in your third house. That's going to be a very busy time for you because the third house is the house of moving and shaking, our devices, our short trips, transportation, vehicles, networking, coffee dates, where we work out, where we grocery shop. It's all of our daily errands. And also if you do freelance work or you have a job where you're out and about doing different things, that's included there as well. You know, it's like if you're in traveling sales, or if you have your own business, or if you are somebody who teaches or you write for a living, all of that is covered in the third house. Websites are covered here too. So it's an important placement because this is the beginning of eclipse season, this new moon in Virgo. It jumpstarts eclipse season. It's also communication and mindset. And because your energy is harmonious with Virgo energy, Cancer, that's really lovely. It makes a sextile to your energy. So this is probably going to be a very positive new moon, at least for your Cancer energy in your chart. And know that the September eclipse season, I'm giving everyone a preview here at the end of these readings, is going to happen in your third and ninth house. And this is the axis of learning and growth, publishing and teaching and writing and websites and freelance work. I'll go much more into what all of this means when I do separate videos for you on the eclipses, but I just wanted to give you a little preview here. This is where you could feel like there's change coming for you. And the ninth house is expansion too. New horizons, long distance travel, new adventures. So some of you may be thinking along those lines as well. Let me shuffle the cards for you now, Cancer, and see what the cards have to say. All in all, you can see that this is going to be quite a dynamic month of August. And I'm really, having gone through all the astrology and interpreted, and I'm now very, very excited for this month because there's a lot of Uranus activation that is going to bring us the new in the future, and the activation of, you know, our future self pulling us forward. And that's great news. Okay. Cancer. Your card is Guardian Angel. You are not alone. Cancer, you are not alone. You are being watched over. I love this card. This always reminds me of Aquarius energy. And we do have that full moon in Aquarius. And it reminds me of that because of the, you know, the galactic kind of imagery here, but also the falling feather, which always reminds me of ancestors and feathers being representative of communication from ancestors or angels. That idea of pennies from heaven, you know, the signs, how a feather can be a sign. and the sense of you have all of the wisdom you need through your third eye here. Your third eye will give you the information that you need. There is a sun and a moon here, so this could indicate the new moon as well, encouraging you to tap into your support, to remember that you have a guardian angel. You're not meant to do this alone, and that the more you identify with being guided and supported by the divine, the more safe and secure you feel here on Mother Earth. So beautiful, Cancer. If anything that I shared in this card or in this reading on the astrology of August resonates for you and you'd like to share in the comments, I would love to hear. Gemini. Hello, beautiful Gemini. Gemini. I have my natal sun in Gemini, and what I love for Geminis this month is that there is lots of fiery Leo energy still yet to come that harmonizes with you. It sextiles you. This brings opportunities. This brings solutions. It just brings feel-good energy. It inspires you. It's creative. Leave me a comment, Gemini. Let me know. Have you done anything creative in this past month when we've had the sun in Leo and Mercury retrograde in Leo? I know Mercury retrograde has its negatives, but has anything sparked your inner child? I mentioned in the first part of this video that my kids and I did these tie-dye shirts for my daughter's birthday, which was really fun. I forgot how fun it is to just try a new art, just to dabble, right? And Gemini people love to dabble in things, right? Gemini, you know this. Do you know that you channel energy through your hands? That's what Geminis do. Anything that you do with your hands, whether it's dyeing a shirt or arranging flowers or bringing down divine energy and talking with your hands, whatever it is, that's where you get inspiration and where you can channel. So Gem, this Leo energy harmonizes with you. And not only this, but we have a full moon in an air sign, Aquarius, that trines you. That's beautiful harmony. And we also have Mars entering an air sign, Libra. So all of this energy is wind at your back for this month. I think you're really going to like this. Now, the sun will be in Leo until the 22nd of August in your third house of moving and shaking. The sun has already been here, but in addition, we have Mercury now direct. And Mercury direct is great news, right? Stationing direct in your third house. What does this mean? I mean, this could have been a bit of a discombobulating Mercury retrograde for you because you are ruled by Mercury, so you tend to feel Mercury retrogrades more intensely, and it was happening in your third house, and the third house is already a mercurial house, so it could have been amplified for you that much more. Now that Mercury is stationing direct, anything that you want to do in your local environment, whether it's a meetup date, whether it is, finding a new gym, talking with a sibling or a neighbor or an aunt, uncle, cousin, maybe working something out with them or coming to some agreement or signing a lease. Maybe you want to lease a car or buy a new car, get a new device. Maybe you're working on a website or you're writing something. Whatever it is, if there's anything you want to launch, and this would be launching, especially with a third house Mercury direct, this could be launching anything to do with speaking, learning, teaching, publishing, podcasting, and so forth. So Mercury direct is great news for you. And then Venus is also going to transit in Leo come the 25th of August, and that's going to bring more lovely energy to this house for you. That's this house of moving and shaking and deals and transactions. But before that, Venus in Cancer, most of the month of August is in your second house of money. And Venus in the second house almost always brings an increase of money. If not an increase of money, a sense of I've got all of my needs are met. I've got what I need. Plus, Venus and Jupiter are going to come together, making a conjunction. They're going to meet up in your second house, and Jupiter will amplify this even more. So you could get a promotion. You could get an opportunity to make more money. Something, you could get, so this image is just coming to me. Leave me a comment. Let me know if this happens for you. Like somebody giving away their couch, or you're driving and you see a free sign on a piece of furniture and you're like, that's a really nice piece of furniture, I want that. Something that just sort of lands in your lap. That could very well happen because the second house is also the house of possessions, and you could get a boost in your sense of self-worth or deserving during this time. Really good time to connect with your any images of abundance, to visualize what your heart most wants, to really use this Venus-Jupiter conjunction to amplify your connection with the divine and, to raise your vibrational frequency to be a match for what your heart most wants during this time, beautiful Gemini. Mars will move into Libra in your 5th house of children, creativity, love, and romance. Mars in the 5th house, either it gets you super fired up to do a new creative project, or it gets you dating somebody, or it really amplifies the passion that you have with somebody that you're already going out with, or you meet a new person and it's super passionate. I love this. Or it's, you're doing a lot with children. And this can be, excitement, fun, and joy with children as well. But the 5th house is the house where we want to feel that joy and that inspiration and that adventure and freedom. It's also the house of the lovers. I love the 5th house so much. And Mars in Libra here for you, Gemini, for Geminis, Mars in, I know this is not all Geminis, but Mars, Libra, having Libra in the 5th house means that you usually want your love relationships to turn into something committed. Now, I know that's not for everyone, but a lot of Geminis do. They don't just want the quick fling. It can go both ways. The full moon in Aquarius, Gemini, is happening in your 9th house of expansion, long distance travel. Also higher learning, philosophies, spiritual beliefs, any belief systems really. So with a full moon here, it's a full circle moment. It's an ending, a culmination. It can be a manifestation. It could be you decide to take a trip, or you decide to move abroad. It could be that you are finishing a course. You're graduating from some sort of learning program. Or you decide to take a long distance road trip where you are really, excited about experiencing that. I call them vistas, like a new vista. And I've never seen this before. I'm coming up to the crest of the mountain and I've never seen what I'm about to see. That can be really lovely. So that could be true for you as well. It's a full moon, so often it is something that feels like something is culminating during this full moon that began perhaps either 6 months ago when we had the new moon in Aquarius, or it began with the Leo new moon that happened 2 weeks before this full moon. That's actually today. The Leo new moon is today when I'm recording this video, the 24th of July. Now, Virgo season. Virgo season for you, Gemini, is happening, if it's happening for everyone on August 22nd, but it's happening in your 4th house of home and family. What does this mean? This takes your focus to your home and family. This takes your focus to maybe responsibilities with family members, but it can also take your focus to your home. And am I happy in this home? Do I want a new home? Do I want to move? This is the beginning of eclipse season. So for all Geminis, this axis of the 4th and 10th houses, home and family and career or life purpose or retirement, how you spend your time, this axis, this balance of these very important areas of our life, this is going to be really up for you beginning with this new moon. Maybe before, maybe it's already been here. If you want a new home, for example, you've probably been thinking about this for quite some time now. Or if you want to change careers, or you need to make a change in your career in some way, it's been up for you for a while. But you might be at a decision point during eclipse season. And again, I'll do separate videos for you on the eclipses, but I wanted to give you a preview that knowing that eclipse season for you is happening on your 4th and 10th house axis, career, life purpose, retirement, and home and family. This new moon, though, is in your 4th house, and it does make a square to Uranus in your sign, Gemini, which is in your 1st house, and that is changing your identity in some way. Uranus in the 1st house, if it's anywhere near your ascendant, or if it's anywhere near any planets or points in your 1st house, I'm talking Gemini risings right now. All Geminis are going to feel Uranus and Gemini. Of course, this is a major, major life transit. But it's in your 1st house, it's a shift in identity, a role, vitality, appearance, all these things, a glow up. Okay, so let me pull a card for you now and see what the cards have to say. So be ready around this new moon time on the 23rd of August. Be ready for some sort of an epiphany or a jolt, or I have to say, it can be a discombobulating moment or event that shows you something you didn't see before. Breakdowns lead to breakthroughs. Some of my best life decisions were made after a breakdown, a Uranus breakdown, where I wasn't saying yes to something that I really wanted, or, I thought I had all these reasons why I couldn't do it. And then I have this Uranus moment, something breaks down, and then I'm like, I'm doing this. I'm just not. Anyway, a card flipped over while I was shuffling, which means it's your card, and it's a beautiful card. It's the Shield Maiden, and it says, make plans and focus. And I love her warrior spirit. I love it. The blue lines on her face, the quote unquote war paint, her, everything is very artful and tattooed on her, right? The paint, it's gorgeous. It's blue. To me, blue is the throat chakra. It's the communication ability that we have and that Geminis have in spades. And she is ready to move forward. She is shielding whatever needs shielding, if anything does. She is protecting her passions. She is moving powerfully forward. It's time now to make a plan and to focus, because eclipse season on the Pisces Virgo axis, it affects the other mutable signs, all the mutable signs, including Gemini, most intensely. So it is time to make a plan and focus, beautiful Gemini. If you want to claim that you are making a plan, anything you want to share in the comments below, let us know. I'd love to hear. Taurus. Hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, what I love for you about the month of August is that Venus in Cancer and Venus coming together with Jupiter in Cancer, which amplifies the beauty of Venus, money, love, pleasure, fun, just the sweetness of life. That's Venus, right? Everything. It reminds me of the Empress card in the tarot. Just everything lovely. It's Venus is our heart's desires. It's our preferences. It's the things that make us happy in this life. And Taurus, you're ruled by Venus. So where Venus is transiting for you is important. And this transit sextiles you, Venus and Jupiter in Cancer. Sextile you. That means they harmonize with your energy. They bring you good things. It's happening in your third house of moving and shaking, the third house of all the things that we do on a daily basis, our errands and the transactions, the buying and selling, community networking, coffee dates, communication and mindset, learning, teaching, growing. If you have a website, it's the work you do on your website. It's how you put your information or your offerings out to other people. A sextile brings solutions. It brings opportunities. It brings really positive, like something taken care of, something solved, something coming in for you. It can feel like my ship is coming in. So this is a beautiful, beautiful transit. And you get this in your third house. So what a great transit for meeting somebody new, whether it's business or romantic or a new friend, or for just something being like, everything's falling into place. Everything's falling into place. I love this so much. Taurus, the sun in Leo, the sun will be in Leo until August 22nd, so the first 3 weeks of the month. And the sun has already been here, of course. Mercury retrograde happened here, and this is your fourth house of home and family. But Mercury is turning direct in your fourth house of home and family. So some of you, if you've wanted to move, but you didn't want to sign a lease or you didn't want to take out a mortgage before this, now is a good time to do that once Mercury moves direct, and especially after Mercury clears its shadow period, August 26th, even better time. Great time to sign a lease or make some sort of agreement toward that. Or if you've been wanting to remodel, you've been wanting to hire somebody maybe to do some work on your home, but you didn't want to do that until after Mercury went direct, now you can. And not only this, we get more support in this house for you, the fourth house, because Venus will move into Leo on August 25th. And that is going to be the love continues from your third house to your fourth house. So a good time to beautify your home or to make your home feel like more of a sanctuary, or to come together with a family member to heal something, Venus here, or if you want a roommate, to meet somebody or interview people. It could be really lovely relationship with Venus in your fourth house. Really great for whoever you live with too. If you live with children, you know, a lover, a spouse, whoever you live with, parents, just Venus in your fourth house means everyone is feeling simpatico. Things are going well. They're flowing. The energy is flowing beautifully. We're going to have a full moon in Aquarius in your 10th house of career, Taurus. It's not just career. I know that some of you are, you know, retired. Some of you are more doing some sort of vocation. It's life purpose express. It's where we seek meaning and fulfillment. But the important thing about this full moon in Aquarius is that it's our future self pulling us forward, because Aquarius is the future. Aquarius is the cosmic intelligence. I believe this is going to be a consciousness raising full moon. I believe some fears are going to come up. I talk all about this in the first part of this video, and I will do a separate video for everyone with a deeper dive on this full moon, because I feel that it's important. It is moving us into new territory, future self guiding us. There will be revelations. So something is culminating, ending, or manifesting in this area of your chart. Some of you could be leaving a career. Others of you could be wanting to start your own business, making a shift there. Some of you are going from working to retiring. Or you're shifting from a way of making money to a vocation. Lots of different ways that this could play out. And then we have a new moon in Virgo season happening in your 5th house. In your 5th house of love, romance, creativity, and children, and creative muses, there will be a new moon that jumpstarts eclipse season, Taurus. This trines your energy. Trines are the wind at your back. Your sails are filled up. You're getting nourished during this new moon. But just know that it does make a square to Uranus in Gemini, and that is in your 2nd house of financial considerations, material security, which means to me that if there's a decision that you're making around this new moon, your finances are playing into it. There could be some tension or pressure or a need to take action. Maybe you're deciding to get a new job. Maybe you're deciding to ask for a promotion. Maybe you are doing some shadow work on your sense of deserving, self-worth, and so on. But your eclipse story here in September is going to happen. And it's not just September. It begins, at the end of August, goes through September, and then eclipses play out over a 6-month to 2-year period. It's happening in your 5th and on your 5th and 11th house axis. And I'll go much more into what that means when I do separate videos on these eclipses. But of course, I just explained what the 5th house is. And the 11th house is hopes, wishes, and dreams, and allies, and long-term financial gains, and the dream of your life, the current dream of your life. So it's an axis where you really want to have more fulfillment in your life, big picture, Taurus. If that resonates for you, let me know. And if you want to claim your fulfillment in the comments, please do. But let me pull a card for you now and see what the cards want to share with you, Taurus. Taurus. The Traveler. Move into a new direction. Well, the very first meaning, of course, of this card is, do you want to travel? Are you ready to move your energy? Are you ready to step up and do something new, Taurus? Are you ready to go out of your comfort zone? New horizons. I'm just looking at all of these transits for you to see what I see. I mean, to have a full moon in your 10th house and to have this, so much activity in your 4th house of home and family. Some of you may be moving with Mercury going direct and Venus going into your 4th house. Some of you could be moving. Some of you could be making a big career decision around this full moon time. I have to say, some people could leave a job or worst case scenario, not worst case, because every time we get released from a job, it's all the coaching clients I've ever worked with have been happy once they go through the grief process that happened. But, the world is your oyster with this eclipse axis being the 5th and 11th house. The 11th house is the world card in the tarot. The world is your oyster, Taurus. The world is your oyster. What does your heart most want? It is time to move in a new direction. If you want to claim this in the comments below, let me know. I would love to hear. Aries. Hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, what I love for you this month of August is that Venus in Cancer and Jupiter in Cancer, and they'll be coming together, This is happening in your 4th house of home and family. What a beautiful transit. What a beautiful place to have this transit. Why? Because this is your house of rootedness and belonging, and having a sanctuary that feels like a place that is your place. This is a very supportive transit, Venus coming together with Jupiter. If you're looking for a new home, if you want to beautify your home, if you want to move, very, very supportive, Venus coming together with Jupiter, which expands the beauty of Venus, the beauty, the love, the pleasure, the comforts, the sweetness of life. That's Venus, the sweetness of this earthly playground. And that is all being very much amplified with Jupiter and Venus coming together. This could also bring about a healing to your heart. This could bring about a reconnection with a family member, somebody moving in with you that's like the perfect roommate, or just a lot of good vibes, good feeling vibes happening in your home or with family members during this time. Also, any new sense of blessing that you could get. Maybe you get money to beautify your home. Maybe you get, you find furniture. People say, oh, I have, you need a couch, and someone says, I've got a couch, or someone says, let me give you our dining table, we're getting a new one. Something like that could happen as well. Or you just happen to drive around this Venus Jupiter time, you just happen to drive and see a listing for a rental or to buy a home, and it's the perfect place for you. All the dates for these transits are in part 1 of this video. Mercury is stationing direct, Aries, in your 5th house of love, romance, children, and creative projects. This is great news if you want to meet somebody new. Not that we can't meet somebody during Mercury retrograde, but often that means that they are someone from our past, and nothing wrong with that. Or they're, it's a relationship that isn't going to last. Not always, but these things can play into a Mercury retrograde. But when we meet someone with Mercury direct, we have the chances of it being a long-term romance, if that's what we want, are much more likely. And Mercury direct here is saying, yes, ask somebody on a date, have those conversations with your kids, have fun with your kids, get into a new creative project, or, seriously commit yourself to a creative project. And in the same house where Mercury is going direct, we're going to have Venus move into Leo on the 25th of August and be here too. So that's really beautiful to have Mercury direct and Venus here. Really beautiful for expanding any of these things and the joy of any of these things, any of these themes that I just mentioned as well. And all this energy trines you, Aries, the Leo energy, it all trines you. And that's the most beautiful aspect. It is the wind filling up your sails. It's just really lovely. The full moon in Aquarius is happening for you in your 11th house. This also is harmonious to your energy. It makes a sextile to you. It makes a sextile. Solutions, opportunities, workarounds, resources coming into being gifted to you. Sextiles are when things really happen, like getting a job or finding a house, getting something fixed that's been broken. And it's happening in your 11th house of communities, branding or promoting if you're putting a message out into the world or you're starting a business. Friendships, really great for your friendships. Hopes, wishes, and dreams. What is the current dream of your life? What do you want to be fulfilled? Allies, supporters. The 11th house is social media platforms. It's your online presence if you have one, online dating as well. So the full moon is saying there is some sort of completion or manifestation happening in any of these areas. That could be that you're finally doing a dating profile. It could be that a friendship is coming to an end, or a friendship is elevating to a new level. You're deepening that friendship. It's not necessarily what we would call positive or negative to our human self. It could be either. But because you're getting a sextile to your Aquarius energy, it's more likely to feel positive. It all depends on how it's interacting, activating any other planets or points in your chart as well, if it is. And that's a future self pulling you forward, full moon, for all of us. We're being pulled into a future vision with this, which is really beautiful. In Aries, we've got Saturn and Neptune retrograde in your sign. You know, that's the new dream. So even though this full moon is happening, you know, at 17 degrees versus Saturn and Neptune that are at very, very early degrees, by sign, Aries and Aquarius make a sextile to one another. In addition, we have the new moon in Virgo, Virgo season, the sun moving into Virgo, and this new moon happening towards the end of the month. And this is in your 6th house of daily work, habits, health, relationships with bosses, relationships with coworkers, how you want your lifestyle to be. You know, the structures, the schedules, how you use your energy. Really, this is the house of optimal health. And it really does connect to our physical body. I just heard a very loud sound, but it doesn't look like anything is damaged out there. It's pretty windy right now. This really does, Aries, connect to your physical well-being and also emotional and mental. And this is where the new moon is happening. So it's saying, are you happy with your work environment? Are you happy with the work you do? Do you feel good in your body? Do you want to change your diet? Do you want to change the way you work out? Is there a habit that you want to release or a new habit that you want to take on? Do you want a different kind of lifestyle? You get the idea. And this is where the eclipses are happening for you too. This new moon jumpstarts eclipse season. It's the first, it's not an eclipse, but we have 2 eclipses after this on this Virgo Pisces axis, and that's your 6th and 12th house. So this is going to be an eclipse season for you in which you really do look at your energetics, you know, your spiritual wellness, your wellness on all levels. And of course, that's just a preview. I'll tell you a lot more when I do the videos for you on the eclipses, the September eclipses. So Aries, let me pull a card for you now, and let's see what the cards have to share with you. Beautiful Aries. Your card is the Stargazer. Set your sights higher. Wow, check it out. Whenever I see a real starry kind of galactic sky like this, I always think of Aquarius energy, and we have a full moon in Aquarius, and the full moon is happening in your 11th house of dreams and fulfillment. And it's saying that a full moon there is saying you may be releasing a dream. There may be a dream that isn't happening, or that dream could be like, I want to move to another country, because the 11th house is the world is your oyster kind of mentality. Or maybe your friendships haven't been very fulfilling. Maybe there's a falling out with a friend that could be happening for you around this time. And this is saying you're worthy of what your heart truly wants. Set your sights higher. When I look at his eyes and this cloak, I feel heart energy, the Leo energy, but I also feel a lot of cosmic blue, higher consciousness, higher vibe, and throat chakra energy. And so I'm sensing the message to talk to the divine and allow your energy to be the Aquarius full moon. I feel is a consciousness raising full moon. I really feel it strongly. New light codes coming in. It's definitely a shift into a new timeline for some of us. Allowing you to set your sights higher as you become more of a vibrational match for what you truly, truly want. If you want to claim that you are a match for what you most desire, beautiful Aries, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Pisces, hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces, what I love for you this month of August is that you're going to get wonderful support from Venus and Jupiter coming together in Cancer, and this energy trines your energy because it's water. Cancer's water, your water. It's a beautiful, flowing, very loving, supportive energy. You're getting this trine, this harmonious, wind at your back energy, flowing you down the river. You're getting this in your 5th house of love, romance, creativity, and children. A blessing, good fortune, something wonderful, something very feel good wants to shower you with this transit of Jupiter and Venus together. Jupiter will amplify any feel good feelings around You know, the Venus is connected to money, love, pleasure, children, romance, all the things that we love. Not only this, what I also love for you this month is that eclipse season is beginning. And because eclipse season, well, the North Node, which is the North Node of Destiny, is in your sign Pisces. This is your eclipse season, basically. From 2024 to 2027, this is your eclipse. All the eclipses fall on this Pisces-Virgo axis. And it's opening up a portal of positive change for you, endings and new beginnings. And for you, that eclipse season is happening on your 1st and 7th house axis. And so this is a new self being birthed for you. There's a new identity being birthed for you during this period of 2024 to 2027. How you will feel at this eclipse season will depend on the planets and points in your chart. But, you know, this eclipse season is really interesting because it's spanning 0 degrees of Virgo all the way to 15 degrees of Pisces, where we're going to have the lunar eclipse, and then 29 degrees of Virgo is the solar eclipse. So there's quite a range. The first lunation at 0 degrees, the new moon in Virgo, is not an eclipse, but it jumpstarts eclipse season. Additionally, Mercury is going to move into direct motion in your 6th house, Pisces, bringing up a freedom for you to move forward in any of the 6th house matters, which would be your work situation, your work environment, your relationships with coworkers and supervisors and so forth. Also your wellness on all levels, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, what you eat, and your, you know, workout, how you move your body, how you use your energy that way. The 6th house is really our daily life. You know, but it really comes down to, am I happy where I am? Am I happy in my work? Am I happy in my physical body? Do I feel good mentally and emotionally? Overall, obviously we all fluctuate, and you're a water sign Pisces, and Pisces energy can fluctuate quite a bit because it's deep water. So I understand that. I have a lot of Pisces in my chart too. But, you know, we're talking big picture here. In Pisces, you know, you have been, I say this, I know almost every video, but you have been through a lot this year, the last 2 years, actually. I mean, ever since Saturn moved into your sign, and Saturn will come back into your sign, but that's not, you know, until September. So not in August. Just know that that's not in August. And this month has a lot of beautiful flowing energy for you. If you want to make any sort of change with Mercury direct in the 6th house, if you want to change jobs, if you want to change the way you eat, if you want to change a routine that you do that affects your health or well-being, this is a really good time to do it. A really good transit with Mercury stationing direct to get clarity as well. Mars in Libra. Mars will move into your 8th house. It will be in Libra in your 8th house of power and control and emotional attachment. So Mars in the 8th house really gets us revved up to take action in areas such as any investments, any kind of retirement fund that we might have, any debts that we want to pay off. It's a financial house. So it's financial wellness, but it's also sexual and emotional intimacy. And with Mars here, we're motivated. There's a very strong sense of motivation, especially in partnership with Mars here, to deepen your intimacy, to have the conversations you don't usually have, maybe to pay off a loan, maybe to invest in something you haven't invested in before, or to do some deep shadow work. That could be, you know, the 8th house is a transformational house. In Libra, that often has to do with our relationship life, our relationship to ourselves, to spirit, or to others, or to a business or business partner or romantic partner. And Pisces, we're going to have a full moon in Aquarius. That full moon is a full circle culmination, an ending, a manifestation. It's happening in your 12th house. You could very well get some sort of truth revealed, a revelation, a nighttime dream that wakes you up. It could be an awakening kind of full moon. It is our future self pulling us forward. You could feel like you're changing a story, a rewiring of a subconscious belief. And it could also play out in a work environment or your health or your habits too, because it straddles the 12th and the 6th house. Eclipse season is going to get jump-started by the new moon in Virgo. The new moon in Virgo and Virgo season for you is happening in your 7th house of committed partnerships, of course, because Your energy, Pisces, if you're Pisces rising, that's the first house, and then the Virgo new moon is across from you in the 7th house. So what does this mean? It means that intentions will likely for you be focused on other people, on relationships with other people, how you want your relationship dynamics to go. Could be shedding a pattern in relationships or a dynamic. It could have to do with how you take care of your health when in relationship with another person. If you live with somebody, if you cook together, for example, that may come up during a new moon like this. Maybe you want to change up how you cook. Uranus is getting activated by this new moon. And that's a big deal because Uranus is in Gemini, is transiting your 4th house of home and family. So something to do with your home and family. Could be someone you live with, doesn't have to be, it could be your inner child conditioning. Something is getting sparked for you during this new moon that's going to positively move you forward. But it's a square, so it could be discombobulating at first. But this new moon is asking you, what do you want your relationships to look and feel like? And again, this is opening up the portal for eclipse season for you on your 1st house of identity, your 7th house of important people in your life and commitments to people. So this is a really important eclipse season for you. And now Pisces, I'm going to pull a card for you. Let's see, we're shuffling. I'm shuffling. Let's see what the cards want to tell you, Pisces. Pisces. Ooh, you got the Fire Guardian. It says, ignite your passions. Check it out. All of the red in this card reminds me of Saturn, Neptune, and Aries. They're retrograde right now. And so with Saturn and Neptune retrograde, you could be doing a lot of reflecting right now on what you want in your life, what's most passionate for you, or maybe do you feel passion in your relationships, since that's part of the eclipse season, will be part of the eclipse season for you, a theme for you. But it's time for you to ignite your passions. And when I see that it looks like he's juggling with his 2 hands, or maybe he's opening his hands to receive inspiration from the divine. Or maybe this is his image of abundance, the triangle, balance, harmony. Whatever it is, Pisces, it will probably be connected to finances for you. It will probably be could be connected to making money doing what you love. A boost to your self-esteem, a boost to your sense of deserving. What would you say yes to if time, money, and energy were not part of the equation? What would you say yes to if you weren't afraid? Those questions might give you clues. And if you haven't checked out my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, and you're in this place of wondering what your passion is, or you're not passionate and you want to feel passionate, you can check that out. The link is in the description box below. Either way, beautiful Pisces, leave me a comment. Claim that your passion is ignited. If you want to claim that, you will inspire all of us. Beautiful Aquarius. Aquarius, you are going to love this month, I believe. Why am I saying this? I think this is going to be a month of revelations for you. The full moon is in your sign. I will get to this in a moment, but I think this is going to be a month that really pulls you powerfully forward. The month begins with the sun in Leo in your opposite sign. Yes, it's been here for, part of July as well. It will be here the first 3 weeks of the month. And the sun is transiting your 7th house of committed relationships, both business and romantic. The close relationships in your life. They can be best friendships too. So the sun here is quite lovely. It's like you shining brightly in your relationships, Aquarius. Maybe you're being more social. After all, we're also going to have Mercury turning retrograde in your 7th house if things have been discombobulating or you've had miscommunications. You've had conflicts perhaps based on the fact that people weren't on the same page. That is going to shift now, and you likely got some clarity or had some sort of revelatory moment where we always get an insight from Mercury retrograde. And Venus will move into Leo in your 7th house on the 25th of the month. So it won't be for a little while, but when it does, that's a lot of really positive support for you in your 7th house, where you could meet somebody that's important, becomes important in your life, or you deepen a relationship with somebody that's in your life currently, again, romantic or professional. It's a great time with Venus moving into Leo when it does, and Mercury will still be there. It's a great time to feel closer to people, to have more fun with people, to just feel like you are receiving the lovely things of Venus, which is love, beauty, positive for our finances, comforts, creativity, the arts, all those lovely things. Also, Mars is going to move into Libra, and Libra makes a trine to your energy. It fills your sails. It's lovely wind at your back, and that's happening in your 9th house of expansion, Aquarius. Long distance travel. If you want to do some travel, you may already have a trip planned. If you want to learn about a new culture, you want to learn a new language, you want to take some sort of learning program, whatever it is, Mars here is motivating you, because Mars is our drive and it is our mojo, and it's calling you to adventure. It could even feel like a call of your soul, because the 9th house is where we take a spiritual quest, where we feel like we're on a seeking path. It can be publishing, it can be teaching, it can be podcasting. You need new scenery, and Mars is going to facilitate that if you take the reins and say yes to it, Aquarius. The full moon in your sign is happening in the 1st house of you. This is a culmination. It's an ending or completion, a graduation moment, or it is something shifting in your own sense of identity, a role. Maybe you're walking away from a role. Some of you could be walking away from an ending relationship. Some of you could be saying, I'm not going to work at this job anymore, or I'm going to sell my business, or I'm going to start a new business. Your role could change with a family member too. You could experience a change in your sense of vitality. You could experience a change in your appearance. This is when you have a full moon in your 1st house. If there is anything going on in your physical health or your emotional and mental health, you want to get it checked out for sure, because full moons bring something to our attention sometimes. They bring a revelation or a truth and so forth. Doesn't have to be anything negative. It's going to be a really interesting full moon for the reasons I speak about in the first part of this video. And of course, I'll do a separate video for you on it. But if any fears come up, because Black Moon Lilith is involved, any fears come up, they're showing us what we haven't processed from childhood or in past lifetimes, and rarely do the things that we're afraid of play out. But it's important for us to process those emotions. But I really want you to know, Aquarius, I want everyone to know that Black Moon Lilith is usually it's an intense, it can be intense feelings. It's showing us what wasn't processed before, but it rarely plays out in reality. Virgo season, the sun entering Virgo and the new moon in Virgo is going to happen for you in your 8th house of power and control, emotional attachments. The 8th house is transformational energy. The 8th house is death and rebirth, taxes and loans and debts. So a new moon here could be you saying, I want to pay off a loan or a debt. This could be saying, I want to work on my investments. I want to build a nest egg. I want to take a buyout for maybe somebody's being offered some sort of severance pay or a buyout or something like that. If that's true, leave me a comment. I'd love to know. Only because I just flew into my consciousness in this moment, and I always find those things interesting. Also, this is the house of shared resources. So it is investments, but also how we share resources with other people, and intimacy, emotional and physical intimacy. Something could come up for you along these lines. And again, remember, it's a new moon, so this is the beginning of a manifestational cycle. This is intentions that you're seeding, new intentions for what you want to experience here. And it could be, I want more clients, for example, or I want an ideal client, or I want to deepen my intimacy with a lover, or I want to, maybe you have a very close relationship with someone, but it hasn't gone to that level of being intimate and you want that. So you get the idea. And this is the axis, the 8th house, and then the 2nd house, the financial axis, the partnership axis. This is the axis on which the eclipses are going to be happening for you. And the eclipses will start in September, but the eclipse portal opens up with this Virgo new moon, which is not an eclipse, but it opens up the portal because it's on the same axis, and that begins at this new moon time around it's on the 23rd of August. So just so you know, September, these themes of financial well-being and security and how you're using your money, and do I feel empowered in my relationships and with my money, those are all going to be part of what comes up for you most likely in September. And I will do separate videos, like I said, on that, but I wanted to give you guys a preview now. So let me pull a card for you, and we'll see what the cards have to say. Beautiful Aquarius. Your card is, the eagle. See from a higher perspective. Aquarius, this reminds me of you. You're an air sign. This is obviously, birds are air signs. The eagle is considered one of the highest, if not the highest, totem animals, totem beings for flying above, getting a sort of a helicopter view, a bird's eye view of life, for transcendence. It's a card of transcendence. And Aquarius, because you're connected to the cosmic intelligence, to the ability to send, and I hear an airplane flying over right now as I'm saying this. You may not hear it because I edit out the background noise, but this is a card of emotional liberation by seeing from a higher perspective. You've got the third eye here too as well. The third eye, the full moon in your sign could be a third eye activation. Now it's really loud. Even if I edit this out, you guys may still hear a little bit of it in the background because it's flying right above me. How interesting. I believe that the full moon in your sign is a call to raise our consciousness. I believe there will be a download of new light codes. I believe there's an invitation to shift timelines. We are being called forward by our future self. That's your energy, Aquarius. And to do so, many of us will be flying above the fray of life, our human attachments, and we will be detaching to the level necessary to see from a higher perspective and move into that new timeline. So if you want to claim your own seeing from a higher perspective or anything else, beautiful Aquarius, let us know in the comments below. Capricorn. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorn, what I love for you this month of August is that until the 25th of the month, Venus and Jupiter will be together in the sign of Cancer, your opposite sign, in your 7th house of committed relationships. You will very likely receive some sort of blessing or feel blessed, feel like you are in the time of flow and good fortune and just feel good energy with Venus, the planet of love, money, beauty, pleasure, good times, the planet of, this is why I came to Earth in the first place, to experience, my 5 senses, the lusciousness of life, so to speak. Venus, all those Venusian things are going to be amplified, expanded by Jupiter coming together with Venus. So wonderful for your existing relationships, wonderful for meeting a partner, really, really beautiful for any kind of positive interaction with people that are important to you in your life, whether it's through business or romantic or best friends. Mercury is going to shift into direct motion, yay, in your 8th house of power, control, emotional attachments, transformation, death, and rebirth. The 8th house doesn't play around. 8th house energy, this is where Mercury went retrograde for you. This is where the sun in Leo will be for the first 3 weeks. And then when Venus leaves Cancer, it's going to move into Leo, and Venus will be in your 8th house, and that's really lovely. So with Mercury shifting direct, if you've had any issues with anyone around emotional or sexual intimacy, if you have had miscommunications, if you wanted to buy a piece of property or sell your property, Mercury retrograde doesn't really help with that. You know, that can delay things, that can make it hard. It can make you not want to do any kind of agreements during Mercury retrograde. When Mercury clears the shadow period, post shadow on the 26th, that's a good time if you want to move any assets. You could have been thinking about long-term investments, but not making a move up until now. But then again, Mercury will help with that. Also with paying off any debt and anything to do with sharing time, money, or resources with another person. Venus is going to move in, or an institution. Venus will move into your 8th house as well, and that is really lovely for receiving blessings from others. People may be giving you things, people giving you money, people creating opportunities for you, people connecting you with other people, getting new clients. All of that is really nice. Just and if you are self-employed, getting new work, you know, whether that's through a client or through a contract, anything like that could be really positive with Venus in transiting your 8th house as well. Mars is going to move into Libra in your 10th house of career. That's really motivating you to have Mars transit your 10th house of career. Now, I know you don't all have a career, so life purpose expressed, vocation, how you want to spend your time, retirement, semi-retirement, your legacy, different for all of you. But Mars here means you're motivated. Some of you are motivated to be seen and recognized. Some of you are motivated to really make some headway in how you spend your time. And for many of you, that is work or career. If you have already retired and you feel like you've been stagnant, or you don't know what you're doing next, Mars here can really motivate you with that too. Some of you, Mars can be where we're cutting ties as well. So you could be cutting ties to a career. You could be leaving a job. You could be leaving a company. You could be wanting to start your own company. You are going to be balancing this energy with Mars opposing Saturn. You're going to be balancing this with home and family. Don't be surprised if there's some sort of push-pull that goes on the beginning of the month, the first week of the month especially. But with the full moon in Aquarius, any tension there I think is going to pop. You know, that's what we say with a full moon. There's a pop. There's a release. There's a letting go. There's a culmination. Something gets resolved or something is seen. The truth comes out and you know what to do after that. It will pop, and it will be, any tension will be relieved once that happens. The full moon is happening in your 2nd house. So 2nd house is earned income and how you see yourself in terms of self-worth and how you love yourself, material security, possessions. A full moon here could show that a way you've been earning money is culminating, it's completing. It could show that you are getting a manifestation, you are getting the fruit of your labors, you are receiving a promotion or a bonus or something like that. It could be that you are getting a truth during this full moon about how you earn money. Maybe some of you would like to earn more. You feel like you're under earning. You want to work on looking for a new job, starting your own side gig, or beginning to elevate your sense of deserving within your own mind. As we know, we create everything from the inside out. Then we're going to have a new moon in Virgo and Virgo season, the sun moving into Virgo, and that's happening in your 9th house of expansion. I really love this, Capricorn. I love 9th house transits because they do open us up to other possibilities. It is the house of new horizons, new adventures, long distance travel. Some of you, don't be surprised, or if you haven't already been planting seeds for travel, you know, that is probably going to be the case for at least some of you, if not many of you. Foreign travel, learning a new language, taking some sort of a course. It's a new moon, so it's a new cycle that's beginning, and it's 0 degrees. So it's like 0 degrees. I've never been here before. This is brand new. There's pure potential. There's unlimited possibility, but it's new. could very well be someplace you've never traveled before, or something you want to learn that you've no idea if you're even, how good you would be at learning it, so to speak. But or you could be wanting to shift your perception of something, yourself, a belief, what you thought was possible for you. This is the house of our perceptions and our beliefs as well. And then, just so you know, Capricorn, and by the way, that moon trines you, so it's very positive for you. It's very supportive of you and your energy, whatever you want in any of these areas, however you want to expand, very, very supportive. Also, if you want to publish something, teach something, offer a course, do a podcast, any of those things, put a message out, very supportive for that. And eclipse season for you is happening on this axis, the 3rd house and the 9th house. This is the house of learning and growth and freelance work, creating a website, putting a message out, publishing, all those things, through all of which we expand. I'll tell you much more about these themes and what these eclipses, the aspects and all of that when I do separate videos on the eclipses. But for some of you, you could find yourself at a turning point during this eclipse season, which happens in September, but gets jump-started by this new moon in Virgo. It gets jump-started on the 23rd of August. Actually, we feel eclipses 4 to 6 weeks before often, and so you could feel it at the beginning of this month. But especially once we get to that new moon in Virgo. And the eclipse season, Pisces Virgo axis, will harmonize with you, both Virgo and Pisces. Give you really nice supportive energy, Capricorn. So now I'm shuffling for you. Having said all that, I'm shuffling for you, and let's see what the cards have to say. Beautiful Capricorn. Your card is the Water Guardian. Connect with your emotions. Look at this beautiful image. Our emotions are what we create with, right? We manifest from the feeling space, the heart space. In my book, I share that the heart has a magnetic field that's 5,000 times greater than the intellect. And so this card is saying, connect with your emotions, because number one, they're going to tell you what you really want. Number two, they're going to help you to be able to pray, speak, gather support for what your heart most wants. And number three, they're going to really help you to raise your vibration to the level that it is a match for what your heart wants most. Beautiful Capricorn. So the Water Guardian has been swimming to you, telling you, I'm here by your side. We can flow like water. We can let the frustrations and the obstacles in life, we can flow around them. We can let them flow out of our life as easy as they made their way into our life. And that may be a message for some of you too. I'm also being drawn to the jewelry on her third eye, and that some of you may experience a third eye activation during the full moon or even the new moon in Virgo. Uranus is a big player right now in so many transits that are happening this month of August, which I go into the first part of this video. And Uranus in Gemini is going to bring a lot of us a third eye expansion, awakening. So if anything that I shared resonates for you, beautiful Capricorn, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, beautiful Sag. What I love for you this month is that Jupiter in Cancer, transiting your 8th house of money from others, inheritances, and our ability to pay off loans and debts. Also great for home buying and all kinds of investments. Jupiter is going to meet up with Venus in Cancer this month, and this is beautiful, a beautiful transit for increasing your wealth, whatever wealth means to you, for increasing your or deepening intimacy emotionally or physically with another person, or anything that makes you feel more materially secure. What a great transit if you're selling a home. What a great transit if you're buying a home. Anything that makes you feel like more secure in a long-term way. And great for transformation too. Great for feeling like you're rebirthing. It's just really lovely. Also, Mercury is turning direct in your 9th house of expansion, higher learning, publishing, broadcasting, podcasting. This is the house of spiritual expansion, spiritual insights, belief systems, learning, growing. You know, it's new scenery, new horizons, new adventures. Mercury's turning direct here. So if you've had any glitches, for example, if you wanted to travel in another country, you wanted to move to another country, if you're dealing with a visa situation, that should get some forward momentum now. If you're just having trouble making plans or have had trouble making plans, or if your mind has felt a little, things have felt a little crazy making in the mind, that could have happened to you too. During a Mercury retrograde in the 9th house, because the 9th house is where we're seeking, where we're on a quest sometimes. And we can get really wrapped up in like, what's the right thing for me? Maybe you had a challenge making a decision during this time. That's all shifting toward the positive as Mercury moves forward. And we also have Mars moving into Libra for you in your 11th house. Mars in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams, fulfillment. What does your heart most want? What would light you up? This is a beautiful place for a Mars transit. Why? Because it's where we have mojo and motivation and drive, and where we're excited to make something happen. And this is the house of the world. The world is your oyster. What does your heart most want? Also, friendships. Mars in the 11th house, I have to say, could be cutting ties to a friendship, but it could also be meeting new friends, new supporters, new allies. It could really rev you up if you are starting a business or you're wanting to get the word out about a business, you're branding, you're promoting, meeting more people. It's just, this is where you're going to have a lot of energy and want to focus your energy. And also Libra energy harmonizes with your energy. So that's really supportive, Sag. Not only will Mercury shift into direct motion in your 9th house, but Venus, as of the 25th of August, Venus is going to move into Leo, and that will be in your 9th house as well. So to have Venus in the 9th house, that says take that trip. That says, you know, take a course, do something that's going to further you. Maybe you want to go on a retreat, a spiritual retreat, something that's going to further your sense of I'm stretching, I'm learning, I'm seeking, I'm opening up to new horizons. Really, really good for any of those things. Some of you might want to take a long distance road trip. The full moon in Aquarius, Sag, which also harmonizes with your energy really beautifully. It makes a sextile to you. That's opportunities and solutions and workarounds and, you know, new paths to what you want. It's something coming together for you, something solidifying. That's happening in your 3rd house of moving and shaking, the house of everything daily, your errands and your meetups and your coffee dates and your dates and you know, where you go to work out, the conversations that you have when you're standing in the grocery line, like all those things. So a full moon here, this is a potent full moon. It's our future self calling us forward. It's raising our vibration to the level of what we most want. And in a full moon in the 3rd house often is connected to what we want to do business wise. It can be. It could be a new device. It could be you want to buy a new car, you want to lease a car, but it can also be you are working on a website or you're changing a website. You want to write something or teach something or learn something. Or you just want a new location. You want a new environment. You could be leaving a location, whether it's your office or where you live. You could be having something going on with a neighbor, a sibling, an aunt, uncle, or cousin. It takes your focus to your local environment, but there is a wrapping up or something coming to a head or a manifestation for you here. Could be more social as well. It could be you're feeling very satisfied in your social life around this time. Now, Virgo season and the new moon in Virgo, they're very important to you because Virgo energy squares your energy, squares all the mutable signs or opposes them, depending on your sign. But for you, it's a square, and that means tension, pressure, activation, motivation, gets you motivated to take action. Where might you be taking action? With the new moon here, it's planting seeds and intentions for what your heart most wants in the areas of career, life purpose expressed, how you want to spend your time, your legacy, how you want to be recognized, what you want to be recognized for. It's often a profession, but it can be a vocation. It could be what brings you meaning and fulfillment, what you want to leave to others. So this is where the sun will be. This is where the new moon is happening. And you could just find yourself around this new moon time very focused on these matters of what brings you fulfillment. You could be questioning it. You could maybe be wanting to get an astrology consultation, Sag, about career or life purpose. That's something we could do together as well. Eclipse season for you is going to be on this 10th house, career, profession, retirement, semi-retirement. I think I forgot to mention that. If you're not working anymore, if you don't have a career, it could just be not just, but it could be volunteer work or retirement, or, you know, slowly transitioning out of work. But the eclipse that's happening, the eclipses that are happening, this new moon in Virgo is not an eclipse, but it opens the eclipse portal. And then we have eclipses after that happening on this axis of your career, legacy, retirement axis, and home and family. So some of you during this eclipse time, and I'll do separate videos for you on the eclipse, some of you are going to be really thinking a lot about, am I happy where I'm living? Am I happy in my work? Am I happy with how I'm spending my time? Do I want to have a change in my home environment or something with a family member? I'll do, like I said, separate videos and we'll go much more into that. But I wanted to give you a preview. So now, Sag, let me shuffle for you. Let's see what the cards have to say. Beautiful Sagittarius. Sag, thank you for always making me laugh. You touch my heart and you help me raise my vibration through the singing. Okay, Sag, I love this card. One of my favorite cards in the deck. It is the Warrior. Be fearless and stand strong. So much emerald green energy in this card. I love the feather earring. It has an iridescent glow to it. And I love that this person it's very heart chakra to me, this card. But it's also saying your heart knows your truth. Stand strong in what you know is true and right for you, Sag. If you have to be a warrior, if you are holding someone to an agreement, if you are holding someone to a standard, if you have to set a boundary, if you are unsure, doubting yourself, this card is an affirmation, a validation that this is the time to be fearless and stand your ground. So I hope that this is a validation for some of you. If you'd like to leave a comment and let me know. If anything that I share with you in this reading resonates, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Scorpio, beautiful Scorpio. Scorpio, what I love about this month of August for you is that Jupiter and Venus in Cancer, together in Cancer, the two benefics, Jupiter expanding the beauty of Venus, the love, beauty, pleasure, money, all the good things, all the delicious things in life, as I call them. Together, Jupiter is expanding our Venusian enjoyment of life. And this is happening for you in the 9th house of expansion. This is the house of seeking, of the spiritual quest, of learning, higher learning, whether it's a PhD or a certification program, learning astrology, getting an astrology consultation, reading with me, whatever it is. You're expanding in this house. And Venus together with Jupiter means you may get an opportunity to do something that you've been wanting to do that will grow you, that will expand you. It could be an opportunity to travel. It could be somebody calling you and saying, come visit me in some place that you really want to go. Learning a new language, whatever it is, it's going to be a new adventure for you. And that's really beautiful. Also, publishing and podcasting and broadcasting and teaching all fall here as well. So you could get an offer to publish something if you're a writer or you know, whatever you create, you could get an offer to do that, or things could fall into place. You could meet somebody who helps facilitate that, a partner, maybe like a podcasting partner, someone to do it with you. You get the idea. The first 3 weeks of August, Scorpio, the sun will still be transiting your 10th house of career, fulfillment, retirement, how you spend your time, legacy, vocation, life purpose expressed. This is where your heart's focus may be, not only because the sun will be here for the first 3 weeks of August, but also Mercury is turning direct here. So if you've had any weird communications or glitches or anything else happening that in your life that have been career related or have been related to how you spend your time, what's most important to you, where you get or like to get some sort of appreciation or recognition, Scorpio, that's changing for you now. Mercury is shifting into direct motion, which is favorable for launching something new. If you have your own business and you want to launch a course or a podcast or any way that you make money or that you draw people to whatever you're offering, that's very positive. Not only that, but Venus will enter Leo on the 25th of the month, and then you're going to have Venus and Mercury at the end of the month in your 10th house, blessing you in all the ways that I spoke about before this. If you want to start your own business, if you want to leave a career and start a new one, if you want to leave a job and go to a new one, if you want to raise, all these things could be really helpful. Or you want to just meet new people and have new connections. Venus here really can help that as well. Then we're going to have a full moon in Aquarius, which is a high vibration, consciousness raising, downloading new light codes, stepping into a new timeline. I share a lot more about this full moon. It will be quite potent in part 1 of this video, but it's happening in your 4th house of home and family. So something is culminating, ending, or coming to fruition. Something's manifesting for you in your 4th house. And this is, either someone's moving into your home or out of your home, you're redecorating or buying a new home or building a home or anything that is going to, it's an upgrade. The universe wants it to be an upgrade for you, but it can bring a revelation that you didn't see before. And yes, during a full moon, something can end. Somebody could leave your home. For example, if you go through a divorce and you sell a home and you divide assets and you go your separate ways, that could be happening around a full moon in the 4th house as well. But with this full moon, and at the beginning of August, especially up until the full moon, you could feel like you're really balancing your home and family needs with career, vocation, life purpose, etc. Your sort of personal life and your public life. You could be doing a balancing act of those leading up to and during and quite shortly after the full moon as well. Our future self is pulling us forward with this full moon, something important to remember. As we are all growing and shifting in our transformation, we're all evolving at the soul level. We have been, and that is continuing. And this month really amplifies that forward. I keep feeling this like higher, it's a third eye activation for some people. It's a crown chakra activation for some people. It's seeing from a higher perspective for sure. And for some people, it's a quantum leap in consciousness. It's really literally feeling catapulted to out through and into a life upgrade, whatever that is. It's going to be different for everyone. The new moon in Virgo and Virgo season, the sun in Virgo, are happening for you in your 11th house of fulfillment, hopes, wishes, and dreams, friendships, allies, supporters. The 11th house is also branding and promoting of any message that you might have, social media platforms. It really is the 11th house where we experience the most support from others. The world is your oyster, where we think about what we want to do with our life or what our next thing is. So that is the new moon. That's what you are likely going to be thinking about. What do I want? It's long-term financial gains too. It could be like, do I want to travel? Do I want to start this business? Do I want to deepen this friendship? Do I want to do online dating? This is, the beginning of eclipse season. It's not an eclipse, but it opens the eclipse portal. And that new moon is going to make a square to Uranus in Gemini. And where it makes a square for you is in a financial house, the 8th house, also the house of transformation, death, and rebirth. So what this means is that this new moon for you, Scorpio, there's so many different themes that I already spoke about. You will know how, you will have to apply those themes to your life and see where that fits. But for example, if one of the themes is for you, if it applies to you that you are wanting to share a message with the world, that you're wanting to brand or promote something, with the square to Uranus in the 8th house, that can bring up your ideal client, or who are you working with? It can bring up tension with a business partner. It can bring up a new idea. It can bring up something that's going to transform you from the inside out. Scorpio, you are very much attuned to 8th house energy. That's your energy, 8th house energy, in the big picture scheme of the zodiac. Some of you could be paying off a debt. Some of you could be borrowing to start a new project. You could be getting a loan. Some of you could be purchasing a home. That could be part of it too. Or selling a home, dividing assets with someone. But eclipse season for you is going to be on the 5th and 11th house axis. So the 5th house is love, romance, children, creativity. The 11th house is what I just described, fulfillment and hopes, wishes, and dreams, and allies and social media and branding and promoting. These are the eclipse season themes for you. How you feel this, I'm going to go much more into this when I do separate videos on the eclipses. So I won't do that now, but I wanted to give you a preview. Scorpio, let us see what the cards have to say. Additional message from the Oracle cards. Oh, one fell out while I was shuffling. Somebody said to me that they think it's inaccurate for me to pull a card that falls out. I tried to explain in that comment, in reply to that comment, that's not how it works. When we're shuffling and a card falls out, and I'm sure a lot of you are aware of this already, it feels very auspicious. It feels like the divine is saying, choose me. So the card that fell out into my lap is the Lord. Take charge with authority, Scorpio. Check it out. To me, this is a very Aries card. You can see the ram here. There's a ram here. There's also antlers, which is the totem of the teacher, the antlers, the gentleness of the deer. But the ram is going to like power through, right? The ram is going to get focused and then take charge. And you're very good at focusing, Scorpio. You're very, very good. If there's something that you feel like you haven't taken full charge of, that you haven't committed to, that you haven't put both feet into, this card is saying it's time to do so. Be the authority of your own life. Make it clear to others that you're working with or in your life where necessary what your focus is, what's important to you, what you value, and move powerfully forward, beautiful Scorpio. Libra, hello, beautiful Libra. Libra, what I love for you in the month of August is the Sun for the first 3 weeks of the month, and Mercury stationing direct, and Venus beginning on the 25th will all be in Leo. All in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams. Fulfillment. The world is your oyster. What does your heart most want? Social media platforms. The 11th house is long-term financial gains. Supporters, allies, friendships. The 11th house says, what do you want? Let's make it real. This is the house of, Uranian moments sometimes, the epiphanies and the opportunities out of the blue, as we say. It really is where we can gather our support for what we most want. And it's where we often launch a plan for something that feels really big to us. Branding and promotion and putting our message out into the world, if we have one that we want to share. So you're getting a lot of support, Libra, from all of this Leo energy, including Mercury stationing direct, as I said, and Venus here on starting on the 25th of August. And this energy is fire to your air, and fire to your air is sparks of inspiration and creativity and aliveness. Before Venus transits into your 11th house, it will be in Cancer for the first about 3 weeks, a little bit more. For the 1st to the 25th, it will be in Cancer. Well, the 31st of July to the 25th of August in your 10th house of career. So this is also another really beautiful place to have Venus transiting, because Jupiter's already transiting your 10th house of career. So Jupiter's already trying to expand your enjoyment of life in terms of profession, vocation, legacy, what lights you up, what is in alignment with your purpose, what makes you feel fulfilled, meaning, passion, purpose. Jupiter's already here. Now Venus is joining the party, teaming up with Jupiter, and Jupiter is going to expand all the Venusian things, finances, the beauty of life. That's Venus, right? Venus is our preferences. Venus is how we feel good. Venus is the people we want to hang out with. Venus is, doing the things that we love. Beauty, pleasure, comforts. money, all those things. So really, really lovely transit for you. If you need support in career or in how you spend your time, if you need connections, if you need doors to open for you, Jupiter and Venus can do that for you. Some of you may want to start a new business or change your profession. A really good time to do it with Jupiter. You're very blessed here with Jupiter and Venus coming together. You're blessed with Jupiter here already, but then Venus coming in. And it could be some of you that you meet somebody too, that you start a romantic relationship with Venus and Jupiter here in your 10th house. Or you just do something that really feels like your passion. Mars is going to enter your sign. This is a big deal, Libra, to have Mars enter your sign. It will be in your first house of you. And Mars in the first house, what I love about it is it makes us more assertive. It makes us stand up for ourselves. It helps us to advocate for ourselves. We do have to be more mindful with Mars here of the state of our physical body. If we're feeling any discomfort or pain in the body, that we attend to it. And not to say that you all will by any means, but you just want to be aware of that. Also, we can be more argumentative with Mars in our sign because Mars is saying attend to what matters to you. Be focused on your identity and it's the I am, the house of I am. So we can sometimes go beyond brave into more conflict than usual, but that's not usually an issue for Libras because Libra usually wants to make everything harmonious and can be more apt to sweep things under the rug than to enter into conflict. But it will help you to have the conversations or talk to people about things that are really important to you if you've been putting that off. So that's very positive. Also, Mars in your sign could have you decide you don't want to do a certain role anymore. You don't want to spend time or invest your energy in something that you used to invest in. That's possible too. The full moon in Aquarius, Libra, will trine your energy. Trines are the best aspect that we can get, the most harmonious. And it's happening in your 5th house of children, creativity, true love and romance, the house of being inspired, our inner muse, creative expression, all the things that most Libras that I know love to beautify. If they're not artists, they love to do artistic things. If not that, usually Libras are really good at designing things, whether it's designing a course, designing a room, designing, just making things pretty. You're usually quite good at that. And so, whether you relate to that or not, the full moon here in your 5th house is saying something's culminating or manifesting or ending in your 5th house. That could be a child moving out of your house. That could be a child leaving school and coming back into the house. That could be a romance ending. That could be a romance beginning. You get the idea. Or something to do with a creative project for you, that you're starting it, you're culminating it, we're not planting seeds during a full moon. We're releasing or we're celebrating, generally speaking. The sun is in the 11th house during this full moon, and that is, what is your dream? That is, are you getting the support you need? Do you want to do some online dating? Maybe you did some online dating and you met somebody and maybe you're dating that person, or, that's culminating in some way or ending in some way. Friendships too could come into play for you during this full moon. It's future focused. Our future self is pulling us forward. A lot more to say about that I shared in part 1 of this video. Virgo season, the new moon in Virgo and the sun entering Virgo. It's happening in your 12th house of rest, retreat, the mystic. Also foreign lands for those of you who want to move to another place. Spiritual awakening, out-of-body experiences like astral travel. Mediumship. So a new moon in the 12th house is speaking to your divine connection. It's speaking to your spirituality. It's speaking to your desire to live in another country, some of you, or speak another language, learn another language, or reconnect with people from your past. And it could be, it's often karmic ties that we have in the 12th house. And this is where eclipse season is happening for you. So the new moon in Virgo is not an eclipse, but it opens the eclipse portal. And the other eclipses in September will be on the Pisces-Virgo axis, same as the new moon, and they will be in your 6th and 12th house. The 6th house being our daily habits, work, and wellness, and the 12th house being more of our spiritual inner world. So these are getting activated by eclipse season, and these will potentially jumpstart something, a change, course correction, pick you up and move you to a different place, or have you making an important decision that could involve your work, that could involve your spirituality. But I'll say much more about this when I do separate videos on these eclipses. So Libra, let me pull a card for you now. Let me pull a card for you now, beautiful Libra, and we will see what the cards have to say for you. Big month for you with Mars moving into your sign. Some people say they don't like Mars in their sign. I personally, other than the Mars retrograde that we had in Cancer, that was not comfortable for me by any means, but it's not a Mars retrograde. It's a Mars fully going forward the whole time, and I think it's going to invigorate you. It's often very invigorating, and where we couldn't set a boundary before, we often will set that boundary, no problem. So that's really nice for people like you, Libra, who like to be, you're very, I use the word genteel with Libras, and it's very, very positive. It's like there's a diplomacy to you. There's a gentility to you. It's lovely. There's a loveliness to you, Libra, loveliness, but sometimes that boundary is necessary, right? Okay, let's see what the cards have to say for you. I think there's a helicopter over me if you hear that. Okay, the Medicine Guardian. Be open to healing information. So the Medicine Guardian helps us with heart healing. I believe this is Archangel Raphael. It helps us to heal our heart. It helps us to heal our physical body. This angel is holding the caduceus, which is the symbol for health and wellness. And because Mars rules the physical body and the first house is connected to the physical body, you might be healing something. You might be going through some sort of a recovery, some of you, but also Virgo energy, where the new moon is in your 12th house, that is bringing up our spiritual wellness, and the eclipse season is going to be on your 6th and 12th house axis, and the 6th house is also our physical wellness, emotional, mental as well. So this ties in very beautifully with those themes. And if you want to call on the Medicine Guardian to help you move forward powerfully in your well-being on any level, beautiful Libra, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. My beautiful friend, thank you for joining me for this August astrology video for your 12 sign horoscopes. Thank you for giving this video a thumbs up, for liking this video. Thank you for commenting, for sharing, for subscribing to the channel. When you do so, you ignite the algorithm that then shares this video with more people, and it really helps support the channel. If you would like to do an astrology consultation with me or a coaching session, go to my website, check out the testimonials that other clients have shared after working with me. For astrology readings, we can do a heart's desire, life purpose, natal chart, relationship harmony, or a 90-minute astrology consultation if you would like more time to go over, discuss, receive guidance on one or more areas of your life that are really up for you right now. We can also do a clarity coaching session if you'd like coaching support. The links to both my astrology readings and coaching offerings are in the description box below. And as promised, I have a free gift for you. That free gift is a soothing guided meditation meant to connect you to your unconditional, loving, spiritual guidance, to your intuition. Also, to receive a gift from the divine, if you'd like to receive my free instant download guided meditation, go to my website, sign up to get my weekly inspirational astrology updates, and you'll get my free gift at the same time. My beautiful friend, let me know what you are thinking or feeling about this August astrology. I would love to hear. I love reading your comments. And until my next video, I am sending you all my love.